Hello, this is Empire Steve here. This is going to be my first video about stocks. I wanted to go over a trade I did today. I've actually been meaning to make a video about how I trade, the way that I trade, my strategy actually. And I trade basically just weekly options. I also trade some longer positions if I can really find a good solid support, but I normally don't hold anything. I just buy in the morning and I sell, or I buy anytime between like say 9:45 and like say 10:30 would be like the latest I like to buy. Sometimes you can find really good things to trade later in the day. It's really about finding those, and if you have any more funds. I know with the smaller account, like I typically use up what I can trade in the morning before 11 o'clock basically, and I just try to be done for the day and just go on to the next day. But anyway, what I do is I trade the same few stocks that I watch. I've actually been watching Tesla all day, just looking at it. But like all these things that are on my watch list are basically what I trade on the daily. So AMD, Apple, both of these move quite nicely every day. You can see from a low of 88 up to 90 for AMD, and Apple always makes big moves depending on how futures are doing. BLNK always makes pretty decent moves, always has decent volume. DraftKings is what I was watching today because it had news. I don't typically have this on my watch list. FUBO's one I watch daily. I don't watch GVO, so I'll remove this. Let me go ahead and just remove everything I don't watch daily. JMIA always has nice big moves. You can see from 57 all the way down to 55 was a nice solid sell-off along with the futures. NIO is one that I've made one of my biggest wins is playing NIO weekly options. Plug, you can make certainly a good amount of money, and it has a lot of volume. Obviously SPY, if you can learn one of the futures or one of the ETFs, you can really make a decent amount of money. Obviously Tesla, big mover every day, but it's not really great for a small account. For a smaller account, if you have a couple $1,000s like I do, you can play Tesla. If you have less than 1,000, Tesla may not be one that you want to look at. I just watch TLRY basically because it's one of the leading pot stocks at the moment, that or CGC, and I just kind of like to see how the pot stocks are doing every day, because when they're popping off, when one pops off, they all pop off. And XPEV, which has been a huge sell-off the last couple of days, it's been along with NIO, it's just been tanking every day for the past like 9 days. I think it's been on a downtrend. So anyway, I basically wanted to make my first stock video so you guys can see how I trade. And one particular trade, I made 2 trades today. Actually, I only made 1 trade today. The one trade I made today was FUBO. I didn't have that many funds because I got into a NIO position and ended up having to hold the NIO position yesterday, and I sold it for the NIO for a loss today. I think I actually lost one of my biggest losses recently. It was around like $900 was the loss, but anyway, I'll come back from that. I come back from them all the time. It's really, when you trade weekly options, one thing I want to point out is you really want to find the best entry. You want to always be watching SPY. I actually watch SPY on my second monitor. I have 3 monitors. One has my scanner, one has SPY, always watching it, and then one has Webull platform, which is what you're viewing right now. So always watching SPY. It's only reason why I watch SPY is because it's going to follow the rest of the futures typically, and then the overall market is going to trend along with SPY. So I just watch SPY on, like I said, on one monitor, kind of see the direction of the overall market to know if I need to sell the positions I'm in or what have you. And so basically what I found today was FUBO. FUBO was, and basically, let me go back just a step. So I use a couple of different indicators, and these are basically just a part of the strategy that I use. And I use stochastic, and you can use, if you're using TradingView, you can use stochastic. If you're using Thinkorswim, you can also use stochastic. And obviously this is Webull, and you can also use stochastic here along with MACD. So as far as stochastic goes, these are the inputs that I use. This is what I found. I don't know how they are default, and I don't want to set them to default, but you can follow mine, and you can change these any way you want. But this is what I found shows me the best overall direction, and the K period is 10, the D period is 10, the smooth is 3. Okay, and then the style, I changed the K percentage to the color to green. I didn't need to do that, to green, and then the D to red. All this I didn't touch any of that, so it's all the same. So K is green, red is D, or sorry, D is red. So then that's that, and then MACD is my settings are the fast length is 8, slow is 21, signal smoothing is 5. I have the MACD coloring to green and the signal to red. That's not how both these indicators, the colors are different when you first set it up on Webull. So I just changed it so it just looks better to me. You can see the MACD and the stochastic are crossing at the same time, right? They're doing kind of the same pattern. And it's just two indicators that just help me kind of see what the overall market looks like. I have the same thing on SPY on my other monitor. So I basically just do the same thing. If I'm running the 3-minute on Webull, I have the 3-minute on SPY. If I have the 5-minute on Webull, I have the 5-minute on SPY. And I will look at the daily, the 4-hour, the 1 hour, the 15-minute, all of that to kind of try and see what the overall direction is. But specifically for FUBO today, I had 600. I was around $700 I could use. So what I did, actually, I'll go to it. These are my filled FUBO, the $45 calls. So I bought the 45 that expired today. Okay. So here's the 45 that expired today, and you can see they're actually, I'm sorry, not today, next week. They expire next week. Fridays are a little scary. They sketch me out. Fridays do. I won't always buy same day expire options. If it's on a Friday, I will. If it's Thursday, I'll buy for Friday, same week. But if it's on a Friday, I try to play it a little bit safer just in case if I need to potentially hold, because something came up and I couldn't just watch it all day, which is very rare. I typically watch. If I can't watch it, I just sell. So these were, and I paid $229 for these 45s, and I'll show you. I'm going to add these to my watch list so you guys can see it. So if you didn't know that, actually, by the way, on Webull, if you right click under the option, the call or put that you're looking at, and like whichever one you're interested in, if you right click on over that number or that call or what have you, you can go to either view quote and you can look at it this way, or you can go like this and you can add it to your watch list, whatever watch list you have. So food for thought if you didn't know that. So what I saw in FUBO this morning was, and I was looking on the 3-minute, doing the same thing with SPY. SPY isn't going to drive the direction of all stocks all the time. Even at the beginning of the day, it could go one way or the other depending on news or what have you. So if there's a catalyst, it's going to just ignore the overall market like SPY. It's just going to do it at once. But today I saw that FUBO was looking super bearish, and typically when FUBO to me is looking bearish in pre-market, it's going to eventually find the bottom and move up. So I bought those. Those are really bad. I'm down on XBEV too. I'm holding that till next week. That one will be green though. I'm not actually. The XBEV expires March 5th, but those will be fine. But anyway, FUBO, I bought these at, you can't see it there, but I bought them at 10 o'clock. So I bought them like right in this area, and I paid again $229 for them. And the reason why I bought them was because it was a selling off. You can see both the MACD, stochastic are showing it's bearish. So green underneath the red and red over the green. Red over green basically means it's bearish, it's a downtrend, and it's doing the same thing on MACD. And then when the green starts to curl over and then looking like it's going to cross over back over the red line, then you know it's a bullish trend. So basically that's just what I look for. I look for I'm pretty much long bias. Like me personally, I'm long bias. I will play puts, but I'm typically just long bias, and because I don't like to buy so early in the day, I just look to either go long once there's a reversal of some type, and and I really look for it, both the MACD and the stochastic, to both be crossing at the bottom. And here you can see that the actual cross happened around 10:06, but I can see it was about to happen here. Plus, I was watching SPY, and we'll go to SPY, and you can see SPY right around 10 o'clock was also showing a bullish uptrend going from a bearish to a bullish. And typically, if SPY is doing that, most of your other stocks that you watch that have actual volume on the daily are going to make that turnaround as well. So back to FUBO, you can see, you saw SPY was making the turnaround around 10 o'clock. That's what FUBO was doing. So I got in right around here for this price, 229. I got 3 contracts, and I held on to them. I held on. I didn't sell them. I sold them at the actual very top. So I held them from 10, just like I think it was 9.59 when I bought them, and I literally sold them right here. I could see this wick at the top of this, and at that time I was watching SPY. So this is 12:21. So that wick really scared me. I was like, okay, it looks like there's going to be some kind of downward trend. I'm just going to take my profit, and I sold them at 284. You can do the math. I only had 3 contracts. I made 164 bucks off of 3 contracts. So I paid almost 700, but that's also was a little bit more. It was less risky because it expires next week instead of today. If it expired today, they would have been significantly cheaper, and you probably could have flipped a lot more money, because you would have to be buying one that's in the money. And we'll go look at those in a second so you can see them. But I just want to see. So this started to look a little bit bear, like not a little bit, but started to look really bearish. Didn't like that topping tail. That's at 12:21, and I'll tell you why. I'll kind of show you why I got out of it. And here's SPY, and you can see in SPY, even before 12 o'clock, it was started around 11:30, started to look a little bit bearish. And although yes, FUBO was not looking bearish until about 40 minutes later. It didn't matter. I knew that there was going to be some resistance around 45. So yeah, and I could see huge walls on level 2 at that time. So it's like, you know what, I'm getting out of it. I'm going to take my small profit and run. But let's just real fast go look at what could have been for you guys. So these are so earlier 42, like had I wanted to just go all in and risk it for the biscuit, which is what I've done so many times, and just, if I'm really sure on the reversal because stochastic and MACD are showing it to me, then I probably would go all in for the biscuit if I didn't already lose like 900 on NIO today. So that was 42. I would have got 43 because I go one. So if I'm going long on it, just so I explain, if I'm going long, I'll buy, and it's 42 at the time that I buy. I'm going to buy a 43 if I think it's going to go up. Okay, so the stock price is 42. I'm going to buy a 43. If I think it's going to go down, I'm going to buy one strike below. So if it's 42 and I think it's trending down, I'm going to buy a $41 put. Okay, so just to kind of explain it to you guys, you don't want to go super far out of the money. Like I personally don't like to go super far out of the money. I've done that before. I've had big wins, but I've also had some big losses where I could lose it all because of, especially if it's a short expire, that those Greeks will kill the theta will kill you, will crush your soul. So it's 42 and these are 43. So I bought at 10. I'm just going to go back to how these were at that time. At 10, these $43 calls, these are calls, 43, expire today. These were around, we'll call it 50 cents, okay? And they ran to 80 cents. So that's a $30. So you could have made $30 per contract that you purchased there. And that would have been a big, if you bought 10 of them, that would have been $300, okay? 10 of them would have cost you 450, or if you bought them for 50 cents, 10 would have cost you $500. But you still, if you sold them at 80 or up, you still almost double your money, right? So, or if you held tight, which is basically what I did, I bought at 10 and I didn't sell until here, around this time. But if you did hold that long, if you did not take your profit when you're up here and you held through, you could have sold a couple more times. Again, you're in the money. You're in the money at this point because the stock price is 43. So you have intrinsic value. So your money is typically safe unless there's a major sell-off, like what happened to SPY. SPY took FUBO down. The selling started happening. But anyway, it did go from 50 all the way up to we'll call it $1.50. So that's basically $100 per contract. And could have done this. I could have done this. I could have bought more of those and made more money than what I did make. But I wanted to be a little bit safer because I already had lost money on NIO. Had I not lost that money on NIO, I probably would have went and bought as much as I could of these with FUBO because it looked the most definite for me. And you can kind of see that now. So I'm going to go back to FUBO so you can see the overall chart, but you can see kind of where my head was at. Again, I'm buying when they're crossing, and typically I would sell around right here if I'm playing it safe and just wanting to take my profit. When you're trading weekly options, you don't really want to look for a grand slam. You don't want to look for a home run. You just want to get the first base. You want to make your money. You want to build up your account without losing a lot of money. Slowly build up your account over time. So it's just safer. You'll learn a lot, and that's just kind of where I like to be. Is a little bit safer. Last week I played BLNK last week, and I made a lot of money off BLNK. I went for a home run, and actually made a grand slam. So let me show you where that was. I can kind of try and show you real quick. And it was this day right here, actually. Oh yeah, it was here. I made $1,700 on this day, and it was really short. It was really quick. I think I was in the trade like no time. BLNK had news in the morning. BLNK gets news all the time in the mornings. It's some people say it's like fake, but anyway, I don't care. If I make money off of it, why would I care? So again, I'm looking to get in and get the heck out. So get in and get out. Make my money, even if it's a couple $100 or a couple, $60-$70 sometimes. If it doesn't, I'll look back later sometimes and I'll be like, oh man, I could have made like $20,000 so many times I missed out on money. But the more you do that, and the more the less you will care about it. Like I just don't care anymore. As long as I'm making money, like I'm fine. Like that's the goal. So that was BLNK. BLNK went ham last week. This week, since then, BLNK's been really selling off. It's been a struggle bus for BLNK, but you can see how that works. One more thing I was watching earlier, and I made a comment in the Discord that I'm a mod in, was and I made some like little markings. I saw Tesla. Let's go back to Tesla real fast. I saw Tesla. I was watching it around right here when it fell around 10:30, just kind of like when I purchased FUBO. Could have got into Tesla at the same time. So this is 10:30, and it was 786 at the time. And I was looking at the 790 calls. I did not buy any. I should have. So this is 10:30, and these were four. I think I saw them at 395 actually. This is when I saw them. I was talking to my brother too. I saw these at 395 and they ran to 600 bucks. Like that's $200. Like that's an easy win. You could have done it again here. Got in at 390 and sold at almost 700, like $400 to $700 basically per contract. And then there was a huge sell off here, but you could have easily played Tesla a few times today. Like a few times. So real fast, we look at Tesla's chart, and you can see stochastic is looking bearish. MACD and stochastic both bearish on the 3-minute. You can see it starts to curl here around 10:30. Around 10:30, it starts to make that like move to the upside, and look at it, 785 all the way to $791. Like you don't look for huge moves on Tesla. Like a couple dollar moves, if you're getting it, if you're getting one that's slightly above, slightly out of the money, but not like ridiculously out of the money, like you can make big, like not you can make big money, but it makes big moves. I think yesterday Tesla it did it a couple times. Look, Tesla, it dips down to 775 in that area and runs up to almost $800. Back down to 775, runs back up to almost $795. Like it does it all the time. Like Tesla makes huge moves. If you can get in on the correct side of Tesla, you can really win big. It's just about consistency. I've been more consistent late. Actually, I was more consistent probably in like October, November of last year, and then it started to, with all the election drama and stuff. Like the whole market was starting to look bearish, and it hasn't. I think it's starting, overall market's starting to follow a trend again, and like look more, like you can find more plays and what have you. Yeah, that's the FUBO. I don't care about FUBO anymore. FUBO is still looking juicy, but I hope that helps you guys trying to figure out and understand my strategy. I will make, if you guys want me to make more videos, just hit that like button. A couple people have already subscribed, waiting for me to make videos, so I'm going to try and continue this process and see how it goes, and maybe we can all make money together. So anyway, take care, have a good one.